Started, that'd be great. Thank you. Well, good morning, all. It is now 10:03, and at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome the public as well as members of the Social Equity Council and staff for our September Social Equity Council meeting. And we look forward to our continuing mission on reinvesting in our communities that have been impacted by the war on drugs. At this time, I would like to call attendance, and if we could go through, I'll start with Andrea Comer.
Present.
Corey Betts.
Present.
Thank you. Avery Gaddis.
Here.
Sabera Gordon.
Present.
Michael Jefferson. Ojala Naeem.
Present.
Mark Pelka.
Good morning, present.
Morning. Julianne Avalon.
Present.
Kevin Walton. Ed Shirley.
Present.
Kelly Marie Berleris.
Present.
Thank you. Melvin Medina.
Present.
Thank you. And Andrea Hawkins.
Present.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to move for approval.
Just a flag, Councilman Jefferson is here. for you,
Oh,
Mr.
thank
Chair.
you, Councilman Jefferson. Thank you, Councilman Jefferson is here. Thank
Present.
you. At this time, I'd like to move for the approval of the August 1st, 2023 minutes. May I have a motion to approve and accept the minutes from August 1st?
So move.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries and the minutes have been approved and accepted. At this time, we'd like to enter into executive session to discuss pending litigation involving the council, and may I have a motion to enter executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Oh, two. Let me go back through that. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. At this time, the members have received a Teams link for executive session. The members have the option of leaving the Zoom meeting and logging back on after executive session, or muting this Zoom meeting and opening the links and Teams. For members of the public, we'll return shortly, and we thank you for your patience, and we look forward to seeing you at the executive session. Thank you. Thank you all. We've returned from executive session. I'd once again like to take attendance to ensure that we have a quorum. Andrea Comer,
Here.
Corey Betts.
Here.
David Gaddis,
Hello, here.
Sabira Gordon. Michael Jefferson,
Here.
Ojala Naeem,
Here.
Mark Pelka,
Here, sir.
Julianne Avalon,
Present.
Kevin Walton. Ed Shirley. Ed Shirley, you're on mute. I see you present.
Sir. Sorry, present.
Kelly Marie Valeris,
Present.
Melvin Medina. Andrea Hawkins. Thank you. It looks like we have a quorum, and next on the agenda, we'll hear recommendations from the Cone resident on applications for workforce development plans. And if I could hear a motion to accept the recommendation to approve applications submitted by Brownstone Sales LLC, Chillax LLC, Janani LLC, and Divine One LLC applications. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. Jay Hawkins has abstained. It looks like the motion moves. Let me move next to the recommendation to deny the equity joint venture application submitted by FFDC EJV 2 LLC. May I hear motion to table this item to a future SEC meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention from Julianne Avalon.
An abstention for Julian Avalon. Next, let's look at the workforce development plans, the recommendation for approval. May I hear a motion to accept the recommendations to approve workforce development plans submitted by New England Edibles LLC, Emerald Canning Partners LLC, Southern Connecticut Wellness, CT Wellness, and Healing LLC. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries and the three workforce plans are approved. At this time, I'd now move to the executive director's report regarding resolution concerning expedited approval process for the social equity plans and workforce plans. Executive Director Clay.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. Before I do my report, I would like to ask the council's authorization for the staff to review and to approve social equity plans. We are working very closely with the social equity applicants to get their social equity plans in order. And it is a lot of back and forth with them. And the timing of the regularly scheduled council meetings in many cases does not fall in line with our ability to get the plan on the agenda for a recommendation. So in order to streamline the process and to allow us to work more closely and to have these plans be moved without special session or special meetings with the council, we're asking that you authorize me to approve the plans and move them forward. None of the plans are final. We've said that the plan should not be a reason why social equity applicants should not receive their license. They are a work in progress as these are new companies in new communities. They're getting to know their communities. The communities are getting to know them, and their plans may shift a little bit throughout. So the plans are not final, but they provide us enough information to show that these companies are making significant impacts in the communities, the DIA communities that they are either located in or that are closest to them. So with your permission, I request that authority through this resolution.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Jefferson.
Yeah, does this require a motion?
I believe it does.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution as explained by the executive director.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Jefferson.
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Homer. Any discussions? All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? I think the motion moves. It carries. Thank you. At this time, thank you, Director Clay, for that, because I think it's also helpful in terms of having things run more efficiently. And at the end of the day, it is trying to serve the public. And I think this is one step further to, removing impediments that may slow us down. So appreciate the effort behind that. At this
Thank you,
time, I'd
members.
At this time, I'd like to move to any committee recommendations. Are there any recommendations from any of the committees?
Just prior to you, Matt, Mr. Chair, I do have to give my report and then the community reports.
Okay, great. Please go ahead. Apologies.
No worries. Thank you. So once again, good morning, everyone. I'm Ginny Ray, the Executive Director of the Social Equity Council. Next slide, Jennifer. So what I'll be reporting on today is I'll be providing staff updates, program updates, committee updates, and what's new and our September goals. So finally, we have 2 new staff people joining us on September 8th. Please join me in welcoming Arlene Galindo Jimenez, who is going to be our new Outreach Program Manager. She has a background in community organizing, marketing, media, and brand communication with expert knowledge of communications and the use of digital platforms. She is also bilingual, where she is fluent in Spanish in writing and speaking. Vera Lembrick is going to be our Reinvestment Program Manager. She has a background in diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And through her extensive work at financial institutions, she has worked with community leaders to partner on projects to help marginalized communities impacting the culture, careers, business, and students. She served on the boards of One Chain, the Connecticut State Corporate Diversity Council, Hartford Street Youth Project, and the Connecticut African American Parade Committee. I don't have a lot more on Arlene, as she is new to the state of Connecticut. She's been here a couple of years. She hails to us from California. So they will both be starting next Monday, and we look forward to them joining our team.
Great.
So for program updates, Jennifer, we can go to the next slide. Our accelerator program, we just completed the first inaugural accelerator program. So congratulations. On September 6th, we had 21 students or companies graduate from the Connecticut Social Equity Cannabis Business Accelerator Program. And a fun day was had by all. The day started with a welcome reception. And then there were equity entrepreneur pitch presentations to investors, and the investors were in the room. They had a lot of questions. Then there was a graduation celebration, which included lunch. And then that was followed by an industry mixer with networking. And that was a good time as well. A lot of good ideas exchanged. So I just have a few pictures, just a few, because there were lots more pictures taken, and we will be posting them to our Facebook pages. So you'll see some of the companies that were making pitches. And also the Lieutenant Governor gave the graduation keynote speech. And I want to thank Andrea Hawkins and Andrea Comer for coming down and being a part of the pitch competition, as well as Anthony Barrett, who represented our member, Kelly Marie Valeries. And then you'll see a picture of Dale Sky Jones, who's been with us and working this program along with Sarah Bodley from Reset. So it was a fun day. I know several other members were not able to join us. They expressed an interest, but hopefully we'll be doing this again, and we'll have more companies graduating. Just want to remind folks that those folks that participated and graduated in the accelerator program will receive a discount interest rate for the Social Equity Cannabis Business Revolving Loan Fund. And speaking of, next slide, Jen. The Cannabis Business Revolving Loan Fund program was announced on October 29th. We held 2 technical assistance webinars on on August 31st. One at 12 o'clock, which we like to do a lunch and learn. And then we held another one at 5:30. Applications are available on the Social Equity Council website. And Jennifer Edwards is the program manager. And any information that you want, we have a dedicated email for the loan program. So you can send any questions. The public may send questions to that website and contact Jennifer. I just want to give just another shout out and a special thanks to the members of the council who worked on developing this program, as well as our partners at the DECD who worked very diligently, and they're going to be co-managing this program with us. So we look forward to approving loans. And the next effort we're undertaking is our Community Reinvestment Grant Pilot Program. So for those of you who may not know, the council put $1 million in each large urban community. So Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven, the New London, Norwich, Willimantic area, Stamford, and Waterbury. So far, in the first round of our grant pilot program, we received 75 applications from the city of Bridgeport that totaled over $3.6 million. We received 37 applications from Hartford, which totaled over 2.1 million. New Haven is gathering their information as their deadline was the 31st of August, so they're putting together their grant profiles to send over to us. New London, Norwich, and Willimantic, we received 25 applications totaling $1.5 million. Stanford, 54 applications totaling over 3.8 million. And the same thing with Waterbury. They are in the process of putting together their grant report to send to us for a quick review. But with just those communities that have submitted their applications, that's over $11.2 million that we have, knowing that, you know, this is not uncommon. There's a lot of organizations out there that do great things, and there's just not enough money to go around, but the council will be making deep reinvestments in these communities. So the next step in the grant pilot program is the grant makers will convene, and they have started to convene, a team of community volunteers that will review, rate, and make recommendations to the governing bodies on the grant. So all of the decisions for grant making is at the local level. In our community conversations, we are waiting on one more approval from the Office of Policy and Management. We are in very close communication with them on that. They're working on that for us now. But in the meantime, so again, we have conversations ready to go in Hartford, New Haven, and Waterbury. In the meantime, we are launching a community survey. So here is the screen. You can see the QR code. That QR code is also available on our website, and an explanation on the community survey. The community survey will be up until December 1st. Anyone can take the survey. All of us know someone who has been affected by the war on drugs. We will be able to pull out those surveys completed by DIA residents and DIA stakeholders by using their zip code. So we'll hear from as many people that want to contribute information or contribute a voice, but we will also pull out specific voices from the DIA communities to use in our reinvestment efforts going forward. Our goals for September, again, to launch the community conversations. We've launched the community survey. We're going to finalize our new website, the look of our new website. And I'm going to ask Jennifer to put that up right after I go over the rest of the goals. So we'll be onboarding 2 new staff folks, looking at our org chart to fill any other positions that we have planned to fill for this year. We're going to review and update all of the criteria for the social equity applicants in preparation for what could be another round of lottery. And then we're going to host a couple of social equity plan webinars to give folks more information and to help them through the writing of their social equity plans. We're going to also do our annual review of our policy and procedures to make sure we're in line. And then we're going to review and discuss the 2024 legislative recommendations, which have sort of been gathered, and we'll move those to the policy committee this month. And just update on the committee meetings. Outreach did not have a meeting on September 8th, as they are waiting for the new outreach program manager to come to begin their work. Reinvestment workforce will meet again on September 20th. Policy and governance will meet on September 21st. Finance will meet on October 11th. Next council meeting will be October 3rd, then the 7th, and then December 5th. And again, we have Facebook. If you are not following us, council members and the general public, please follow us on Facebook. And coming soon, we will have a new look to the Social Equity Council website. And Jennifer, can you just show just a quick snippet? It's not finalized. We plan to, we're working right now with the state's IT team, and we expect our website to go live by the end of September. So I don't know if we have that. Just 1 second. In the meantime, does anyone have any questions for me?
Through you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to acknowledge Director Clay. It was, attending the pitch session, it was clear that the graduates got a lot out of the program. I know that there were additionally coaches, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Director Clay and the team for putting together such a really powerful event, that there was so much enthusiasm in the room. And like I said, it was just clear that it was of benefit for those who participated. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Councilwoman Comer.
Thank you.
And,
Mr. Chair, Teresa
Councilwoman
Zamora.
Pell. Yes.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Through you, and I just wanted to ask the director about the pitches that were made. I appreciate the pictures because it brings to life for those like me who are unable to attend in person, what the vibe and atmosphere was in the room. It was great to see some of the speakers and the everyone gathering. Could you explain a bit more about the pitches? Were those made by entrepreneurs for the revolving loan program, and were actual decisions being made regarding who will be approved? I just wanted to try, I was trying to get a sense of it. It was great to see again the people before the podium making their pitches. And
Yeah.
thanks for also bring the pictures back up. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll be posting on our Facebook page, and we're sending more pictures out as well. So the pitches, so we paid for folks to join the accelerator program. So the accelerator program took people through a full, like it was a truly like a graduate course in cannabis. And so they learned the history of cannabis. They learned the rules, the regulations. They learned how to pitch to investors to raise money. They learned about writing a business plan. They learned about running a cannabis business. So this was put together for our social equity applicants. At the end of the graduation, there were investors in the room. There were people who were interested in being a part of the industry, people who were interested in investing in these companies as they are still in the process of raising money. So through their lessons and through their coaches and through Oaksterdam and Reset, they learned how to pitch, how to ask for money to anybody. The folks in the room, they're prepared to go out now to meet with other companies, to meet with other potential investors and pitch their company. So they pitched on their business plan, they pitched on their business model, they pitched on their products and what they plan to do, and the return on investments to potential investors. So it was very exciting. It's as Member Comer said, there's a lot of energy in the room, and the investors and those folks witnessing, including family members, were very, very impressed with all of the folks that pitched, that were brave enough to pitch, because it was not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely.
And so the folks that completed the program, they now, so you didn't have to take the program to participate in the loan program. The loan program is open to any social equity company. But those folks who took the accelerator program, we gave them an incentive of a 1.5% reduction in their interest rate on the loan if they completed the program. So we had 21 folks who did complete the graduation and complete the program.
That's really
and just in time for the, and the loan program is now up and running. So they're all set and they're ready to go.
Very good. And thank you to Member Comer and Member Hawkins for attending and for all the work that the SEC staff, including you, put into the event.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
I also just want to acknowledge my staff. You know, you guys know we're a mighty team of 5, and we are so excited that we're going to get 2 new members. But I do want to thank my team who has been, here since day one. Jennifer Edwards, Comer Matrevi, Christina Diamond, Jennifer Stevens, and our newest member, Karen Colbert. These guys work so hard, and there's nothing that they won't do. Everybody is working out of their job class, and kudos to the ones that are in a union that don't complain. But I really do want to acknowledge them and say thank you so much for everything that you're doing and your total commitment to this effort.
Thank you, Executive Director Clay. Councilman Shirley, did you have something? I thought I saw your hand up earlier.
Thank you. Just to say that I was looking forward to attending, and at the last minute we had a mandatory staff meeting at our firm, and I was unable to attend. So I look forward to the next graduating class and attending that. Just a question about the level of the investors that were present. Were you satisfied with the number of investors that were there? Was there seemed to be a healthy demand?
Based on so I didn't know all of the investors. I know that ArcView, who is a heavy investor in the cannabis space, they were definitely there and present and engaged. But based on the questions that folks were asking, there was some smart people in the room.
Thank you, Councilman Shirley. Any other comments, questions?
I would probably say there could probably not ever be too many investors, Edwin. Councilman. So.
Thank you, Councilman Ryan. Well, with that said, Director Clay, is there anything else you might add?
That's it. Thank you. And thank you to
Great,
the
thank
council
you.
for your continued support.
Yeah, no, and thank you for all the efforts, and again, all that was involved in making this happen, putting it together and spearheading as a drive. So again, thank you, Director Clay, for all your work.
Thank you.
And all our council members. With that, I had jumped ahead earlier, but at this time, I'll now go to, are there any committee recommendations? Okay, well, not hearing that, let us move for the good of the order, new business updates or information.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to jump in. I just wanted to do a quick touch base on from a reinvestment committee perspective. So we did have a meeting last month to cover sort of where we are now and where we're looking to go. I think just wanting to check in on two things coming out of that meeting. We wanted to better understand, one, making sure that the outreach conversations can happen by October 1st so that we can start planning for reinvestment opportunities. And just taking a look at the executive director's report through you, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to pose a question. Are the conversations still being held up because of funding? I mean, it sounds like it's been a few months that we've been waiting for OPM to approve this. Is that correct?
No, they're being, right now we have to receive a waiver, but I did speak with Member Pelka, who is working to get this expedited for us. So we do expect to have that in the next day or so. Because this is a new effort, it's a new contract, we had to write a totally new contract for the for the trusted messengers. So once we receive the waiver from OPM, we move the contract over to the Attorney General to sign, but they've already reviewed the contract, they signed it. We just need the waiver from OPM at this point.
Okay, excellent.
So it's not a funding, it's not a funding issue. The money is ready, the money is there. It's just that last dot of the I and cross on the T.
So to clarify, the conversations have not started and waiting for that contract to be signed.
Correct.
And that hopefully will be expedited because I think it's been a couple of months now that we've been waiting for that to get cleared up.
Yes.
Okay. And then along those lines, the second question we had was around clarity on the funds and accounts and what we have and when we have to spend it. It was my understanding that should be pretty straightforward, but it sounds like we have not gotten an answer in the last month from OPM. Could you just provide a quick update on that?
Yeah, I did see just a little while ago that I received an email from OPM from my contact at OPM. So I'm hopeful that that has the information that we have requested. Chairman Robertson and I spoke last week, and earlier this week we spoke with Member Pelka, and I know he was also moving to help us in that area.
Okay, excellent. So we should be able to be moved forward on both items.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks you, Councilwoman Naeem. Any other committees or comments? With that, let us move to the good of the order, new business updates or information.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Jefferson.
Yeah, for the good of the order, I noticed on the website there, I took a glimpse and there was some language that spoke about our mission of reinvesting in the community. I think that's so important. And the issues raised by Councilwoman Ojala, I think we really need an answer to that particular question about that $25 million that's in the social equity innovation account. It was not moved over per the legislation. And it was stated in the legislation that that 25 million is for the exclusive use of the Social Equity Council. And so we really need some clarity, because that's the kind of money we can give to additional DIAs. I know this is just a pilot program that we're running now, but 25 million can go a long way in the DIAs that were not funded, and additional funds to the larger DIAs. So we really need clarity. We really need this thing done. It has to be expedited. And the other issue around outreach, that goes hand in hand. And so I would just encourage the director to, expedite both matters and just get us some clarity on the former.
Thank you, Councilman Jefferson. Truly appreciate it. Are there any other issues on the good of the order? New business, information?
Hi, Mr. Chairman, it's Mark from OPM. So
Please,
the
Councilman Palco.
yeah, so Director Clay raised the request for a status update on the requisition request that is pending in OPM, and yesterday I located it, and it's being reviewed, as the director said. And the director indicated that OPM provided some guidance regarding the funds in the social equity and innovation account. I'll quickly summarize. The update that the director received indicated that the SEC should submit the commission's plan to OPM as for our records regarding the use of those reinvestment funds. And our agency will work to ensure the funds are available to the Social Equity Council to draw down as needed. And OPM would recommend that the report for the reinvestment funds also be submitted to the legislature for their awareness. And that will guide the social equity and innovation account funds for the remainder of the fiscal year. And then rolling into the new fiscal year, 2025, any remaining or unexpended funds will be transferred to the Social Equity and Innovation Fund for use by the Commission to support the continued reinvestment efforts. So I looking forward to participating in the reinvestment subcommittee's work and trying to be helpful. Not sure if there was a meeting last month. I know I haven't attended one if there was, and look forward to conferring with the subcommittee chair and re-participating. It's been helpful to see the reinvestment pilots go, and I saw that in the director's report. And I'll look forward to hearing how that effort will lay the groundwork for the significantly larger reinvestment funds that will be available in this current fiscal year. And I think some items that we might want to consider, or that I would like to contribute and participate in discussion regarding, concerns the potential for a contract to be explored for some means of further reinforcing the assessment and tracking of their reinvestments and their impact. There's obviously some substantial fiduciary work that our foundation partners will carry out in reporting how those funds are being used. It seems that some additional manner of kind of oversight of the funds and really tracking the impact they're having, people served, community impact, what category they fall into. It seems like it'll be helpful long-term for just documenting the impact that these significant reinvestment dollars will have in addressing issues of significant importance within the DIAs. I think the other piece is the fact that the 2024 funds will be significant in utilizing the revenues that are associated with the opening of the market. And those funds are unlikely to be sustained in future years. So it'll probably be worth continuing the work to discuss and plan long-term use of those dollars and how to best manage programs that will need to pivot after receiving some of the upfront funds, and how that transition can occur. And related to that, finally, concerns the potential in future years to link these reinvestments to existing funding infrastructure for added durability, especially on the matter of expansion, the potential of a pivot or retraction on some of the investments, really linking them with a durable and lasting funding infrastructure seems like it could be something, again, of great impact. So I wanted to share those two updates that stemmed from the director's report, which I hope are helpful, and then raise some of those additional thoughts as we move forward. But indeed, it's a exciting period, I think, before the reinvestment subcommittee and the full council as work continues on the community conversations, the reinvestment pilot, and heading into the substantial increase in reinvestment funds that are available. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Pelka. And as I said, framed, I think, aptly. And one of the things I would say too, in terms of as we were looking at reinvestment, the key is going beyond just the dollars that are in the community, but it's growing that and creating an economic system in those communities that grow and entice businesses, families, and those that have been impacted, you know, a path to growth beyond something that is just immediate. So thank you for sharing that and the details. Councilwoman Comer, and then Councilwoman Naeem.
Actually, I yield to Councilwoman Naeem. She had her hand up first.
Thank you.
Councilwoman
Appreciate it. Just a quick follow-up question to what Councilman Pelka shared with us. So do we have clarity on what the funds are and which account they sit in and what they can be used for? I understand that OPM is asking us for a plan, but I just want to make sure that we have clarity on, again, what is the total amount of funds and in which accounts do they sit in and what can they be used for, so that we can have that as a starting point to start developing our conversations and proposals that we will then be sharing with OPM.
Mr. Chair, my understanding is the current balance in the social equity and innovation account is $36 million approximately. And that's the account in which the funds currently sit. That's where they will be for fiscal 2024.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pelka. Councilwoman Comer.
Thank you, Councilman Pelka, for providing that information. And part of my question was what Councilwoman Naeem raised, but also I'm just wondering if it might be helpful, and I don't know where this ask would land, but to do an actuarial analysis. One of the things that I sort of keeps me up at night is knowing exactly how much funds are going to be available, not just in real time right now, but going forward. And I think that, you know, I read that article about Massachusetts and sort of how that ecosystem has changed from a financial perspective because of oversaturation of the market and other factors. And so what I don't want, because I see this happen far too often, is that community organizations come to rely on, you know, philanthropy or some sort of funding that is available for a window of time, and then it's gone or it's substantially reduced. And and as a result, the communities that are served are either back to where they started or in some cases worse, right? Because there's not a sustainability plan in place in terms of those dollars. So I know that was a lot of words, but that was my thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Comer. Councilwoman Pelka.
Always thoughtful input from Member Comer, and certainly a concern I share, and so I look forward to partnering with the esteemed members of the council and our partners to explore and address that concern that the member raised. It's just some ideas to offer, recognizing under Subcommittee Chair Naeem's guidance, we'll delve in the subcommittee will delve into this in greater detail, is maybe while making the transition from pilot to full reinvestment, ensuring clarity is provided regarding three areas that spring to mind. First, around funds being intended for purposes of supplementing, not supplanting the funds of these programs. I've done just a basic overview of regarding the updates of the pilot programs that have been approved, and it's very clear they're going to make a big difference if approved in the lives of the impacted populations. But many of the programs may be small, and this might be quite a substantial impact on them. And we want to be sure that there's a clarity provided regarding the nature of these funds, especially at the outset, is being tied to the revenues associated with the opening of the market. And that's why the potential supplementing of the budgets with these funds, but not supplanting of the operating expenses might be helpful. I don't want to be too limited when I say I think this will be something the council and subcommittee will be delving into quite intensively regarding the design of these funds. And so this clarity will probably modify. The clarity I seek will probably modify as the work is done. Number two is recognizing the significant challenges that DIAs are experiencing currently. Not to say that they haven't been long felt, decades in the making, but perhaps orienting them in areas of expansion to reach additional populations or area of service could be a point of emphasis. And finally, around the braiding piece, I thought could be something worth exploring of how these funds could be braided with other private or public dollars, federal, state, or local, as a way of really weaving together the funding, thus maximizing the impact that can be reached and helping to support the additional transitions that will occur through this. This is obviously, I hope I brought some clarity regarding the nature of the reinvestment funds available, and I raised these points for initial discussion, recognizing others in the council have delved deep into this within the various subcommittees, but also the community conversations to really work through this. So I raised these, not suggesting a mastery in any stretch of these matters, but hopefully contributing some points, some concerns, shared points, and vying to seek to contribute in the ongoing work of the council around the use of these funds. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Pelka.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to remind folks, and I appreciate the concerns that folks have for the DIAs. I live in a DIA, as some of you do as well, and we can appreciate those concerns. However, let's be clear about a couple of things. One, we're not talking about a substantial amount of money. We're not talking about $100 million. In this pilot, we're talking about $1 million. That's it. We're not talking about $100 million. And I just get concerned when I hear some of the comments being made about funds here, funds there, and the small amount. There's a small amount of funds. I think I think we should focus on making sure, and I understand how we want folks to supplement the funding that they're receiving from us. But I think we have to do our best in terms of pursuing our mission to make these funds available to as many groups as possible in the community. And I think the executive director has to continue to do her best in terms of vetting these organizations, making sure that the funds are spent appropriately and they reach the right population and the right demographics. But I just don't want to see the concerns reach the degree where the funds are not spent and reinvestment is not taking place. That concerns me when I start hearing those types of comments. I just want to put that out there, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jefferson. Any additional comments, thoughts?
Just one more thing through you, Mr. Chair. We do plan to build into the funding of the community and the DIAs and those local organizations, some capacity building and sustainability planning. As Member Jefferson said, it's not lots and lots of money, but we do have monies available that some organizations don't even have the capacity to apply for. And so we want to use some of our money to help them build their capacity and also to plan for sustainability. As you know, they'll get some funds, they won't get some funds, they won't get as many funds or as much funds. So we do have that in the works with our plan.
Thank you, Director Clay. And again, it is in any financial scenario in terms of having a strategy as far as where that money's going to go and how much. I think we do the sous chef work and the homework to make sure that we are targeting exactly where those needs are. Any additional comments? Thank you, Councilman Jefferson and Councilman Palka for that.
Can I ask?
Councilwoman Gordon, please, yes.
What kind of technical assistance were you thinking? Are you thinking about technical assistance for like operation of the organization or technical assistance for grant writing? I guess I'm just curious to figure out, when we think about technical assistance, what is it that we are offering? And I guess I'm just asking this question because a lot of the funding, a lot of the places that were granted the funding, I think a part of their pass-through probably would have been able to figure out getting the grantees access to some of the like they have webinars, like some of the things that they already offer. So I guess what is the SEC doing that would be added value for technical assistance that would not be like that, for example, you know, Prosperity Foundation wasn't already offering, or all the United Ways. Like what additional technical assistance can we offer?
So we don't have
the
any
bandwidth to do that. I guess that's my other question.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be us that would be doing it, and it would be a part of our conversations for the community organizations. Is there something else the council can do to help build the capacity? We do know that Prosperity Foundation and the grant makers, they do have the ability and the capacity to do that. But as we are adding to their plate, do we need to help them with more funds or resources to help them build the capacity of even more organizations that they're working with? As you know, we ask them, the applications are coming from everywhere and not as we affectionately say, not the usual suspects. So these foundations who are getting a little bit of admin money are now looking at probably, 20, 30 more organizations that are looking to apply for these monies that may not have applied for them before. So we just want to make sure that folks that want the money, that can use the money, have the capacity to apply for it, understand it, and also understand that there needs to be a sustainability plan because these funds are not completely guaranteed to them going forward. So we want the programs to be sustainable. And we don't know exactly what that looks like just yet, but it's a thought.
Can I ask a quick follow-up question to that? I apologize, I have to take a quick phone call. So this was already asked. I thought the goal, like the initial round of the funding was to go through these pass-through organizations. Aren't we internally now going to be having a conversation about the next 50 million, the next pot, like there's another pot of money? Is the thought process that, are we as the SEC and the state going to start managing the money and the grant making process? Or are we going to continue to use already established foundations as the pass through for this money? Because I think like the plan that we're going to come up with looking forward matters dependent on that. We don't necessarily, if we're going to take over managing the money, I'm not sure if we need to spend a bunch of time investing in other organizations that are doing it right now. I don't know. I mean, I know that's a reinvestment question. So Ajal, I see you have your hand up. I think that would be good to know how we're making decisions moving forward here.
Yeah. I think that's up for discussion, right? We took a approach with the pilot. We're seeing how that is playing out and what types of grants are coming out of it. And as it's been stated multiple times today, we do have not significantly larger amounts of money, but we do have more money that we're looking at reinvestment wise. So I think that is up for discussion. It's going to be on the agenda for part of the conversation for this upcoming reinvestment committee meeting. I've been advocating for us to be, as a council, to be able to have a little bit of a a working session in person, offsite type thing where we can actually go through this beyond just a reinvestment committee. So we'll have some of those discussions as well. But again, I think that's all on the table based on what we've done, what we've learned. We've had, even in this past first round process, there were a lot of thoughts and ideas around what we might want to do differently to have a larger impact. So that's all up on the table for discussion. Step one was just verifying and making sure that we have a sense on what are the dollars that we have to work with, right? So that got clarified up today, which is great. So next step is, okay, how do we want to approach this?
Thank you, Councilwoman Payne. Further comments? Well, thank you, everyone. With that, I would like to move to adjourn.
So
May I have a
moved.
motion? Second? Discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all. We hope that we'll continue the mission. Thank you all for taking the time, and hope the public had some insight in terms of the efforts that we've all been putting together. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.